You know, when we think about survival in the wild, we usually picture something fast, something strong, something fierce, right? But what if I told you there's a top predator out there that thrives by doing almost nothing at all? Today, we're going to look at a survival story that just flips everything we think we know about power completely on its head. I know, it sounds like a trick question, doesn't it? In a world that's all about the hustle, the chase, that constant fight for resources, the whole idea of doing nothing to win seems like a surefire way to lose. So what in the world is the secret? And here's our answer: the magnificent snowy owl. This bird isn't just getting by in one of the planet's absolute toughest environments. It's mastering it. And the way it does it is by breaking what seems like a fundamental rule of survival. When things get tough, you don't fight harder, you get quieter. Okay, so to really get how brilliant the owl's strategy is, we first have to understand its home. Let's call it the frozen gauntlet, a place so incredibly extreme that for most living things, just making it through the day is a huge victory. We're talking about the high Arctic winter. Here, the cold isn't just a number on a thermometer, it's a physical weapon. It's a deep freeze so intense it can literally make steel brittle enough to shatter. And this is the world the snowy owl calls home. And as if the cold wasn't enough, the food just vanishes. Lemmings, which are its main meal, they all burrow deep under this thick, impenetrable layer of snow. It basically turns this huge, vast landscape into a frozen desert. For months on end, there is simply nothing to hunt. And then the sun just disappears. The entire world is plunged into a polar night that lasts for what feels like forever. So you've got this triple threat: brutal cold, widespread famine, and near total darkness. How does anything survive this? So how does the owl face this impossible challenge? Well, it uses a strategy that seems to go against all logic: the strategy of stillness. It is an absolute masterclass in how to survive through pure patience. Just think about the normal response to a crisis like this, right? Panic. Most animals would be frantically searching for any scrap of food, or they'd migrate south. But the snowy owl? It does the exact opposite. It doesn't run, it doesn't fight, it stays completely calm, and it simply waits. So how does waiting actually work as a strategy? Well, it's kind of like a three-part system. First, it listens. Its hearing is so incredibly precise, it can pinpoint a tiny lemming moving around under a thick blanket of snow. Second, it conserves every ounce of energy, staying perfectly still to burn the absolute bare minimum number of calories. And third, it saves warmth. Its super dense feathers are the ultimate insulation, trapping its body heat like a furnace. It literally becomes a perfect, self-sustaining survival machine. Now, this unbelievable strategy leads to an equally unbelievable outcome. The owl proves that by doing less, you can actually achieve more. It's the great paradox of surviving by slowing down. And this really shows you the core difference. While other animals up in the Arctic are burning precious energy in this desperate, frantic scramble just to stay alive, the snowy owl is playing the long game. It understands that in this environment, energy is currency, and the best way to save it is to slow everything down. And the result of all this efficiency, it's just staggering. We're not talking about going a day or two without food. The snowy owl can survive for weeks, sometimes even months, on a single meal. That's an almost superhuman feat of endurance, and it's powered entirely by patience. But here's the thing. This isn't just about survival. This strategy of stillness is what allows the owl to dominate. By saving its energy when everyone else is wasting theirs, it's always ready to strike with deadly precision the very moment an opportunity comes along. And that is what makes it one of the Arctic's undisputed top predators. This incredible story is so much more than just biology. It's a really powerful metaphor, you know? This is the wisdom of the owl, a lesson in a completely different kind of power, one that's based not on action, but on patience. So I'll just leave you with this thought. We live in a world that's constantly screaming at us to go faster, be louder, do more. The snowy owl shows us a different path. It teaches us that sometimes real strength isn't in frantic action, but in quiet patience. So the next time you're facing a huge challenge, maybe ask yourself, Is this a moment for force, or is it a moment for stillness?